Gum, 10-cent candy bars, 15-cent
hamburgers, when a dollar went a long way, and so did 24 hours. The 60s and the 70s, dwelling place of the lost generation. We who grew up in this era had no real heroes. Our role models came from the imaginations of others. Our meager lives were formed by and revolved around weekly installments of our favorite TV programs.
Welcome to a place that your parents didn't understand. A place that exists somewhere between the forefront of recollectable memory and the edge of everyday thought. Welcome to the vast wasteland. Welcome home.
Hello, and welcome to the first of what we hope are a lot of exciting shows here on ACTV. Welcome to Vast Wasteland. I'm your host, Mark Schmidbauer, and along with my other hosts, Wilbert Neal and Marty Wiley. This is going to kind of be an informal show. It's the kind of show for people who think that 30-something is just a little bit too, it's too old for them. It's for people who were brought up in the 60s and 70s and who were interested in only one thing: television. Television. Well, on this edition, we're going to be discussing something that's certainly big in the news right now, but not in the way you would expect it. The big Batman movie, of course, is just zapping box office records all over the place. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the TV show, the fine television show in the 1960s. Thought we'd first go through a real quick history of the character just to get you up to date on what's going on with him. Batman, created by Bob Kane, appeared in the number 27 issue of Detective Comics. That was in 1939. He's also seen in, of course, his own Batman comics and, let's see, All-Star Comics and Justice League of America and Brave and Bold and World's Finest. He was all over the place. He's, you know, pretty much number 2 over at DC. And there's also the big movie serial in the 1940s. And I don't know, do you have any idea who did that?
Well, actually, there were a couple of serials. There was one in 43 and then one about in 45. And they had different sets of actors for each of them. So there were actually 2 different.
Okay. I don't remember what they were.
Well, we don't know.
We don't know.
We weren't there.
We weren't there. So
That's not TV.
That's right. That's right. This is about TV. So let's see. And then after the series, there was the, if you remember this, the live action, the Batman stuff in the late 70s. It was like that. It was like Super Friends or something, but it was live action. And it did have Adam West.
What was that? It was...
I'm trying to remember.
Gosh. It was more of a parody than even the Batman series was.
Right.
And they had a lot more heroes, and it was...
Well, in any case. But that gives you a basic idea. Anyways, we just wanted to have a little discussion on exactly the impact of the series and just basically discuss the thing. So I'm going to stop rambling and turn it over to Wilbert with his first point for the evening.
Okay. One of the things that I always found interesting about the Batman show was the fact that he had, well, he was prepared for just about every occasion in his bat gear that he had. And bat gear changed from, well, he had basic bat gear with the utility belt and the batarang, and of course there were the vehicles, the Batmobile, which you saw more than anything, any of the other vehicles, but there was the bat boat, the bat cycle, the bat copter, and then there's the bat cave. But his gear basically that he carried around with him, the utility belt, which held
the whole array of bat pills.
Everything.
Yes, there were only
for every gas ever made.
Right.
There were only like 10 pockets on there, but yet he was prepared for every darn situation. Probably, as the batarang was probably his best known and most used. Oh, that's true. The batarang was attached to the bat rope. And so that was probably his best known and most used set of.
Right.
Well, the one
things.
disadvantage I've noticed is he always had to attach that bat rope to that batarang before he gave it a throw.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
what was the
it
deal?
It wasn't a whole
Wouldn't you
deal.
have that-
It was
wouldn't you have that
stuff
together?
on there, and actually the batarang just went up and wound around something so they could climb up the side of a building.
Yeah,
or
just anything. He just tossed it up there and it would whip around whatever was
Yeah.
up there, a flagpole,
the side of the big umbrella there on the penguins sent him one day.
yeah, just anything that was overhanging that they could attach that onto, and then they'd climb that bat rope, which was always interesting, just climbing there. And they never shinnied up the rope. Oh no, they had their feet on the
Firmly
thing,
planted,
and they were walking.
Which is a really tough way to go up a building, I would think.
Yes, indeed it is. There were never any knots tied in the bat rope. They were just climbing, and they had on gloves. But they never slid down. It's like their gloves had Velcro. This was before
Right.
Velcro was well known or
Right.
anything, but they're just holding on there, and they're just climbing up there.
Well, actually, there were a couple times where Batman did throw the rope up onto a catwalk or whatnot, and he sort of climbed as the rope swung, and he climbed as he's swinging.
Yeah, that
That's an interesting
stunned
one.
me. Yeah. Physics was just like, wait, how did he do that?
Well, you know, along with everything else, Batman probably could also defy gravity.
And in 1967, we didn't take physics classes.
That's true. That's true. Your
65,
basic
whenever.
audience.
So hey,
yeah.
it was
That
believable
wasn't
for
in
us.
the
So
curriculum, so
it was fine.
I mean, we watched this show as kids, so we didn't catch the I didn't catch the campiness as a 5, 6-year-old. It was real action. It was real true, real hero.
Mhm.
My parents laughed. I hated them for it, but they thought it was hilarious. I didn't see anything funny about it. It was a serious show. It
Right.
was serious stuff.
Yeah, now the characters that were in the comic book as opposed to the ones that were in the series, there were two that, as far as I remember, were never in the comics, which was Chief O'Hara and Aunt Harriet, which I had a real problem. Of course, I had a real problem with Aunt Harriet to begin with, because it's like there's a whole bunch of things you could ask about Aunt Harriet. It's like, why didn't she ever notice there's this blinking red phone in the study? What was the deal with that?
I don't think she was allowed in.
She
Aunt Harriet never got to go into the study.
I thought there was some point she was in the study. Maybe I'm wrong, but in any case. And why she never wondered where were Bruce and Dick all the time?
Well, they always had good excuses. Deep sea
Fishing.
board meetings.
Yeah.
They were busy men. They were very
But
busy
they were
men.
gone all the time.
And it is a big house, so it's like
Right.
she couldn't cover
may
everything.
be somewhere else
What was
and they were in the
anything to
house.
do?
Didn't
She was
even
usually
know.
following Alfred around with a tray or something.
Right.
Alfred, he was their other cover, so I think he hypnotized Aunt Harriet or something.
There you go.
They're not here,
Here.
but they're here, but
Here.
you don't see
See
them.
They're off in the east wing, the west wing. Who knows?
Yeah. Now, why didn't she miss Alfred when he's down like cleaning the Batcave, which he seemed to be doing a lot? You know, it's like he appears to be the only servant in this place.
She was at her ladies' club meeting.
Ah, I
Or
see.
Either that, or he was always cleaning somewhere, and so it's not like she's going to try to track him down.
Yeah.
Either. She's just going to go in.
But it's like she's probably waiting for him, like
The other
For him to-
possibility was they could have had her just knocked out and drugged most of the time, so that she didn't notice that
just
anyone was
Valium
there
the whole
or
show.
not.
Maybe
Yeah.
that was the whole thing. Had a lot of stress
And
problems.
she only noticed things when they were pointed out to her
Right.
anyway.
She was a
And
pretty dizzy woman.
I found out in looking at the Batman book there that they just threw Aunt Harriet in to kind of offset the idea that, well, Bruce and Dick are two guys, you know.
Well,
So let's throw in Aunt Harriet.
You
just
got to have a woman in the house.
Right.
Just not to make it look
It
like
doesn't
they're
matter that
just
she doesn't know.
too friendly.
Right. Let's see. Another question I had. This bugs me. Who put the phone line in for the bat phone? Now, the phone company did not do this, because if they did, they know where the
They
Batcave
would know,
was.
right.
Did Batman personally put this thing in, like some night when nobody was looking?
Well, I want
Well-
to know where they got a lot of this stuff. you
Right.
know?
Well, a lot of this stuff.
Did
because,
they have their
Bruce,
own
Bruce is really
manufacturing
rich.
plant?
I mean, Bruce is probably has some. Bruce Wayne's got some manufacturing plants in